What is going on, guys? Happy Friday Night Flicks. Happy Friday, people. Oh, we got in here. I apologize, guys. I was having a little technical difficulties. Can y'all hear me? Dopey. Guess what? You're just about right. What's going on, Gonorrhea? Jeffrey Dawson, channel member. Blade Ogre, channel member. Dr. Drew Dude, channel member. All you guys are here. I love it. Robert Douglas. Dopey. 6621. Marco Scamma. Crispy Critter. We got Blade Ogre, channel member. All you guys are in here. And guys, we are going to have some stuff going on tonight. Drinkwater, what's up? Joe Isabella, channel member. What is happening? Marco Scamma, brand new American channel member. Louie. It's good to see you guys. And y'all let me know if the sound sounds funky because I'm trying to get by without headphones. I'm trying to go off some little speakers. See if it gives me a little bit more freedom of not having headphones stuck to my head. What's up, Jim Miller, channel member? Good to see you, buddy. Demonaut 13, channel member. So guys, we've survived another week. And it was one that I wondered if I was going to be able to survive at all. But I've got some cool stuff to show you guys. You know, we're having 2 giveaways. So what I did, and we might have another giveaway, but we're definitely having 2. We're having a general giveaway from everybody here. And we're going to have a channel members giveaway. And in the description of this video, this live, I put the links in for both the general giveaway and for the channel members giveaway. So if you guys will, at some time during the live, jump over there, make sure that you watch the little short video, put in the keyword, you know, so that it's in the video telling you what to put in there, and then we're going to draw from that. And we got some cool stuff we're going to give away. And then I'll find something else to give away, because these 2 giveaways, we're going to leave a comment on another video, and then we'll go over there and pull. And then on later tonight, I'll walk over and I'll find something else, and we'll just do a regular giveaway out of, you know, like we do when we put a hashtag in the comments. So we'll do probably 3 different giveaways later tonight. And it'll be cool. We will have fun. But I hope everybody had a great week. I'm going to show you guys what I carried today. It was kind of a light carry. I only carried 2 knives, but I hadn't carried this in a while. My primary carry was my Protect Malibu, and I got some interesting little knives. This is from White Mountain Knives. It's a Tucson double detent. So it's not a locking knife. But I carried this today. It's super sharp, M390 blade, carbon fiber, so it's very, very light. It's got this little area here. If you want to open it just like a slip joint, doesn't have much walk and talk. But it does have this fuller, which I think is pretty cool because you can flick it. So that's what I carried today. I carried the Tucson. I think this is the TS305, something like that. And I carried the lovely, one of my favorites that I haven't carried in a long time, the Protect Malibu. So that's what I carried today. You guys tell me what you carried. Neil McKenzie, channel member, welcome, buddy. Neil carried the Sin Cut Acumen, the Gerber US1, the Mini Sog on his keychain, and the Shield 9 Subcontact. Very nice. Satisfaction, channel member, what's up, brother? Mimo, good to see you, bud. Let's see, Joe Isabella carried, oh, he just said the Mush 3, Mersalt, and then use the Mush 3. And Mersalt, are you in here? Mersalt, I need your address. You are. You won this Kaiser a couple of weeks ago. And you haven't sent me your address. So let me get back up here and get into this. We got Michael Morgan. Okay. Michael Morgan carried the Civivi Conspirator with wood scales. Dopey 6621, and I know this is true because I've been with him carrying a bunch of knives. The Civivi Imperium Mini and Fixed Elementum, the Essie Azula, the Kaiser Elgon, the Feist, Kubi Royal, Momentum Beyond Nighthorse, Beyond EDC Nighthorse, and the Kubi Royal. And the Kubi Momentum. And then the Ritterhogue full size and the Ritterhogue fixed blade, the Ethan Grove EF902, and a Force Tank and a Baton 3 Pro. Very nice, Dopey. And then Blade Ogre got the Sniper Blade Works Mamu last night and found out it stands for a Grateful Dead song. Really? Mamu, I can't think of what that would be, and I'm a dead hand. Marco Scamma, good to see you, buddy. He's telling everybody to please.
What's going on?
Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
I hear you great. Am I echoing or anything? Because I'm trying to go without headphones.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if you guys hear me echo, and let me know, and I'll pop on my headphones. I'm just reading carries real quick, buddy. How was your week?
By Tuesday, I was ready for Friday. It was just brutal, but it was good. It was good. We got a lot done.
I'm just glad I survived it, and mine was brutal too. Ended up just like culminated with brutality today. And I crashed out on the couch after work, and then Grateful Panic walked in. He's like, "Dude, are you not going live tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going live tonight." I looked at my clock. I was like, wait a minute, I'm late. So Brand New American carried his Tenacious Hope from Frayden. Locke gave me. Nice, nice, nice. Jim Miller gets the winner with the Tempest Microburst and the CDC Hansen. Very nice, guys. The Norman Invader. Hello, buddy. Welcome. 5-door channel member. The Microburst, the Praetorian Slim, and a Rough Water Wasp or something or another. Hey, I've enjoyed my Rough Riders, and I'll show y'all some more cool stuff I got in this week shortly. And Brand New Americans talking to Brother Mark, Satisfaction. Let's see if I've missed anybody. All right, Joe Isabella carried a Frag Cormorant and a Penguin along with the Boker USB. I've been interested in that Boker USB. I know that seems kind of different, but I have thought that was a cool knife. And I'll tell you what I've got inbound that's a cool knife. And then Dionot carried a PM2 and M4 with lava flow fat carbon scales and the Chavez Liberation Street Tanto and full tie. Very nice. Me and my uncle, that's it. Went riding down South Colorado, West Texas bound. And then Brand New American is breaking in his Copper Neutron now. Such a great knife. Such an absolute great knife. And Mersault's carrying the TRM Neutrum and Atlas, both in super fabulous G10 and the Zippo. Salt, what's so cool about that, buddy, is if you're ever looking for some scales, you hit up JuhVon. JuhVon went through the scale merry-go-round, if you will, before he ever settled on his titanium scales. And I don't think I'll go back to my G Carter after having titanium. I just don't. I love the G Carter scales. Jeffrey Dawson, channel member, carried his S90V Shaman and a McNeese 3.5 and small and cozy. I love it. That's just a great carry.
It's hard to go back to non-titanium.
Once
you know, if you've had a knife, say like the Hinderer, like it's so much better with a titanium scale than the G10 scale that they come with. I
agree.
And I like their micarta better than their G10 also.
I do too.
I'm not a huge micarta fan. I guess I am and I'm not, but like I think I'd always rather have tie, but it just kind of I think depends on the knife.
I think I prefer micarta over G10 in most cases because for me it's got this fallacy of being soft. You know?
Yeah, it's not soft, but maybe it conforms better. Like I made it, like I talked about it, like maybe, and more so with like in all some of my stuff's just scattered, but like Hinderers G10, like I don't mind. Like if a knife comes with G10, it comes with G10. But I noticed like on Hinderers on the XM18, especially the XM18, it's kind of like got a weird, it's not sharp, but it's not sharp like the G10. And just like the way my finger would rub up against when you're like disengaging the lock and the G10 is on this side, it's just one of those I don't know, like chewing on like tinfoil or something. It was just like it just gives me this weird kind of feeling on Hinder's G10, the way it hangs over the liner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You would have loved the first scale swap I did on my XM18. I put on my tie scale, and for a day, I carried it around not knowing that it was off centered because I left my liner on. I didn't know any better.
I put, God, what was it? I had an XM20. Dude, I've screwed up so many, like taking knives apart and putting them back together. I think it was on like my XM18 or 24. I bought a micarta scale for it, and I forgot to put the liner in with it. So I got it together, and like everything's loose, and I'm like, what's wrong? What is going on? I'm like, oh, I forgot to put the liner back in.
We do stupid things. I don't know if you saw Lefty's latest video yesterday. I couldn't turn down the clickbait title got me. I almost did it that time, where he takes apart his Jack Wolf gunslinger and super glues the pivot like he does, but he was slow on his super glue, and he basically super glued the knife together and had to get out acetone and dip all the pieces down in it. It was hilarious.
I shouldn't be allowed to take stuff apart, like just putting stuff in backwards. Like I just did it last week on a Strider. Put stuff in backwards, and I should have known better, but it's just, I'm always.
We take things for granted.
I get in a hurry, and
Joe Isabella, I have not gone to see Dead and Company. I want to so bad. I saw the Grateful Dead 63 times with Jerry Garcia, and the Dead and Co. I'm a big Bob Ware fan. I'm a John Mayer fan, but all my buddies joke around and call him Dead and Slow. He said that's why Billy Kreutzmann backed out this year, because he was having to slow back his tempo so much that he just wasn't enjoying playing the music that slow. But I love Dead and Company. Grateful Dead's my favorite. Tactical Terry, channel members, carrying the S30V Warncliffe PM2, little native Warncliffe, and a fully serrated native 1. Howdy, Manufacturing, channel member. Let's see if I've gotten it. Okay, Mike McLaughlin. Howdy, Mike is carrying the Peanut Bravo. And I saw Q1 Fiend earlier. Ben, howdy, Ben, and welcome, buddy. Dr. Drew Dude carrying the Para 3 S45VN. Very nice. Sharif, welcome, bud. we've got Sharif, the man, the myth, the legend, in the room tonight, playing with his Kaiser Veratus and new Civivi Hypersonic. Very nice. And this is going to sound stupid, so I won't even ask. I will just Google it in a second to make sure that's the knife I'm thinking it is. Let's see. What'd you carry today, Steve?
I worked all day, so I carried an SNG, and then I just got this yesterday, Sebenza 31. They popped up last week with the dog scale or the dog paw.
Dude, I've never seen one of those.
I'm a sucker. I'm gonna carry it for a while. I'm gonna send it in and have my dog's name put on it, engraved. I love that dog. So yeah, carried. It's Magna Cut, and it's shiny on one. They polished the scale on this side, and it's just bead blasted. And I don't have any. I put it away, but like my buddy asked me, because I knew the blade, something was up with the blade, and I don't know if you can see this. I can dig one out. All my others are stone washed blades, and this you can see actual grind lines. So I don't know.
It looks like the flat stone washed and the grinds satin.
Yeah, so it's an absolute fingerprint magnet, but yeah, but it's a Sebenza, so it just it cuts stuff.
My good buddy A to Z EDC has a Sebenza. He actually has a couple, and I really like them, and it made me like the knife, but I have not. And I've looked at them just like I have Harseys when they come around, and I have not pulled the trigger on one, but I can see one day in the not so distant future that I have to add a Sebenza because they are such good knives. And I'll tell you the knife that had I been buying at Blade Show, I would have probably been all over is that Arnaud Bernard.
Yeah.
The
Have you
new
handled
version
one?
is on bearings.
Yeah. I think you can order it. I was on their website. I think you can order it with, or you can get it with bearings or washers, however you want it.
Yeah.
I was on their website. So
the other retailer, the one that Cole got his from, and I haven't been there, something like African Sporting Goods, or
yeah, I think that's one of their main. After watching Kev's video, I think they have like a couple main their one, and I think one other place that sells their knives. And that's the thing, like the Sebenza was the first time I ever spent over $400 on a knife.
It was kind of your first foray into.
It was my first expensive knife, like I said, and it just is. It's just a knife. It does. It's comfortable for me. I don't know. I like the smoothness of it. This kind of, like everybody says, like the hydraulic. I don't need every knife I have to be drop shutty. Like this, doing this is just as much as a fidget thing for me as like a drop shut knife, just letting it fall shut.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I get it. I get why people don't like this, because it's not that, but it was never, I think that's what people need to maybe understand about a knife like this, is it wasn't made to be like that.
Right.
Someone said, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Tim, that when Chris Reeve designed this, if he saw you doing this with your knife, he'd tell you to quit playing with it and put it in your pocket. That he designed this as a tool,
cutting tool.
Yeah. So and now we've gotten into this, everything's got to be super just smooth action. So, and I can a fall shut action just as much as I can this, and I don't think they need to change this, because there's other companies that have, is it Arnaud Bernard? Andrew, is it Arnaud Bernard or
It's Arnaud Bernard?
What Chris Reeve doesn't need to do that, because like they're doing it, right? I mean, it's kind of, it's along the same like style maybe as a Sebenza, but if you want a titanium Sebenza-ish flipper on bearings, I mean, they're doing a really good job of it. So
Right,
go get
right.
that. Yeah.
So do your own thing, like Chris Reeves stayed true to doing.
Yeah, just do. That's why it's like, just do your own thing. Just,
Pizza
you know,
operator carried the Towser K and L Max, the Max Ace Black Bear, and QSP Hedgehog. And guys, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I still believe the Black Ace Mira is probably the best or one of the best values for 2022, 2023. Titanium, M390. Mine's full titanium. Chicago Knife Works, I was there today, has this knife for $125. If you want the carbon fiber inset, it's like $128. But it's a great, great knife. And today I had something exciting happen. I'd almost forgotten about these. No offense, Marty, if you're out there. Marty, my brother from another mother, Budget Blade Review. About a year ago, or about the time Blade's show started, Original Goat, released the version 2 Hogue Deca scales. And so I asked him, because I had a couple of Hogue Deca version 1s, and I said, hey, Marty, are you guys ever going to do version 1s? They have more screws. You know, they've got 3 more screws. He's like, hadn't even thought about it, but a lot of people have asked us. And I said, well, I've got a couple of Hogue Decas version 1s that I don't carry that much, that I'd be happy to send for you guys to use to see if you want to make scales for them and then offer it. So got a call about 3 months later, and they'd come up with some scales. And so I told them to hang on to the knives till they made sure everything was good, and I got my Hogues back. That is my drop point with just a titanium milled scale, and it changes the entire feel of this knife. And then
just the way to like get like a weightier feel, or
it's got a weightier feel. It has a more solid feel because these were G10. They weren't FRN. But check out the scales on my Warncliffe. They're black with like gold flake.
Gold?
Yep. They do such a great job at Original Goat. And I was on their site today because they just released at Blade Show titanium scales and aluminum scales for the Ritter Hogue RSK1. You know, the rescue survival knife.
Yeah.
And I thought they looked really cool. And I'll tell you what else they've done scales for, which I thought was ingenious. I don't know how much fun it'd be to take apart, but they did scales for the 8015 and the 8010. Make those knives look awesome.
I was on their site last week looking at their 8020 scales because I got that 8020 with the G10, and I've got the 8020 full tie, and I love the weight of the full tie. But then I'm like, man, like I got this knife at retail. I'm only into it for like $425 for a 8020, and then like a couple $100 for scales for a work knife as I'm rolling around with whatever else is in my pocket. But I think I am going to order a set of their scales, the full tie for that 8020, because it just makes it feel, just the weight of that full tie 8020 is really nice.
I didn't even get to handle one at Blade Show because they were gone. Guys, I'm going to share the screen a couple of times. First thing I wanted to share, and I thought this was really cool, and I was really proud of Ben. I don't know if y'all saw him on Lefty Live last night, but I have not seen this in a while. This is Blade HQ. All the gunslingers are out of stock. All 5 of them. And you can find them at other places, Let's see. But most of them have sold out. And I did not grab one today because I did not think they were going to sell out that fast. Whoops.
Yeah, but doesn't his stuff usually sell out pretty? I mean,
Not yet, but not like this, dude. This is another level. Because usually they're around for a week. And so, for example,
really?
if I go to Smoky Mountain Knives, I can find there's one old pattern. I'm tempted not to show y'all in case somebody goes and buys it. But this is where I found one of mine. They've got the javelina jack, and they've got little bro jack or big bro jack. So here's a big bro that's still in stock, and that was like 3 releases ago. Here's the javelina jack available. That's a couple of releases ago.
How is that? Do people not think to look there? Like Smoky Mountain Knife Works is pretty. Like I forgot. I've only ever bought one knife from them. So, is there people that just forget to look there?
Yeah, and I picked up my low drag jack there, and then I picked up my Feel Good from White Mountain Knives, and I should have picked up my Feel Good from White Mountain Knives, but I would have had to get the micarta because at White Mountain Knives you don't pay tax, and it makes a difference on a knife like this.
Yeah,
makes it a good bit cheaper. But the other thing I was going to share with you guys, I don't know if anybody, I saw somebody post it earlier, has been to Magana Steel's website yet. Our brother Sharif. But check it out. The Kamano has been released.
Well, I like the look of the. Is that a harpoon tanto or what would you call that?
It is a harpoon tanto, and it feels so good in the hand. He had one at Blade Show. It feels like a real knife. I know that sounds silly, but it feels just substantial enough. Whoops. See if I can find just a. And if you go through his site here, you will be amazed at all the knives he's actually designed. I knew he designed a lot, but I'll see knives from Kubi that I didn't realize he designed. But yeah, that is a beautiful knife. I love the micarta. I love the texture of the micarta, but I am dead sold on this purple fat carbon fiber. But yeah, guys, go out and support Sharif. Check out his site. Check out his blog. He's got some great articles. I didn't realize he was putting as much time into the content of the site, but I've been stoked with it. The other thing, I didn't buy anything at Blade Show. I felt like I was it was almost like when you did your month of no buying.
Yeah.
It was kind of that kind of deal. I felt like if I could withstand at Blade Show.
That's impressive. To go into Blade Show and not.
It was very impressive, but part of it was by choice and part of it was kind of by need at the time. I knew I had a check coming in, a reimbursement check, but didn't know exactly when. But one of the booths that I went to is this place called Shed Knives. Are y'all familiar with them?
Nope.
So Shed Knives is out of Delaware. They're made in America. They use CPM 154 CM. And they make these little knives. I say this little knife. This is their little fishing knife that's called the Skur. And you know how I like small fixed blades.
Yeah.
The difference is This thing's like a 1/4 inch thick. It is an absolute chunk. It's got this lanyard hole that also is like a pommel, but it's got this hollow grind that's super sharp. This was designed as a trout fishing knife. And believe it or not, it's really slicey. But it's overbuilt. The reason I found this was a fluke. I was browsing, as you guys might do some. I go to NAF sale just to see what's going on at NAF sale, right? To see what's for sale over there. And so I was at NAF sale. Let me get over there and show you guys. And I was checking out their new stuff. They kind of moved it around here where you've got official NAFCO sales. They're now American Blade Works dealer, but I always go to Shop Marketplace. That's where all the sold stuff and the other stuff is. So as we scroll down here, ooh, they've got a Ronin. Hold on, guys. I got to let the cat in real quick, Steve.
I've never been on this site. I'm too tempted. And having willpower. And I forget about it. Well, let's look at the chat. Hey, what's up, Hydor?
Sorry about that, guys. But when I was scrolling down through NAF sale, there's a Sebenza.
Yep.
But as I was scrolling down, I came to right here, and I saw the Dayglow Skr that I bought. Well, the seller of said Skr put up a bunch of other knives, and they are Shed Knives. So Shed Knives is actually using NAFCO to sell their blade show overstock.
Huh, where are they located out of?
They're in Delaware.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah, and this is their Conquest. This is a little bit bigger. This is about a 4-inch blade, but they've got this little Shed Skr Tonto, reverse Tonto here. They've got, this is a regular Skr like mine, and that is a Tonto Skr. They call it a Tonto. And another Skr, and these things are $120, dude. And I'm telling you, the 154 CM is just a chunk.
Dude, I like 154 CM.
Me too. But Shed Knives is now selling on NAF sale. And also, if you go back, and I have no affiliation with NAF sale, guys, but I did find when I went to the official NAF sale listings, this is all his new knives where he's partnered up with Urban EDC, Giant Mouse, American Blade Works. So he's now an American Blade Works dealer. When I got back from Blade Show, he probably had about 5 of these knives on his site. And when you look at the seller, you can see that it's, Brian selling, but he's got a couple of Devo Buzzes, brand new. He bought these new and he's selling them new. A mash that he picked up at Blade Show, and that's coming from NAF sale, so that's not a somebody's used buzz. That's a new buzz. But I was just really spent a lot of time, wasn't today, it was yesterday, just surprised at how many new knives, now that they redid their site, they've got on here. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the second part of my little screen exploration was, man, congratulations, Ben. The Gunslinger Jack killed it. And that knife is just absolutely awesome. Dr. Drew Dude, channel member, it is an awesome little knife. It's definitely thick. I put ulti clip on mine because it came with just a regular belt clip, but when I mounted it on my belt, it felt like I was carrying a super heavy pew-pew, because I want to say it is pretty heavy. But man, it cuts. It's just a great knife. It feels heavy. I don't think I'd want to fall in the pool with it because it'd probably take me straight to the bottom. Easy
Do you
tip.
think Dave talked about it last week, and like he's been to Blade Show multiple times, and he thought, like, you know, because he likes a big bruiser knife, as he calls them, and he says like he feels like those are kind of being phased out, or talking to someone like Old Dominion Knife Works, like they might not go next year. He just felt like it was the vibe was changing, or
I agree with that. I agree that it started, I think, with Oz, and I'm just pontificating here. I have no scientific evidence, or have not talked to anybody at Oz, but I heard that that's why they did not go back to Blade Show this year, because they witnessed people buying knives at their booth. They had a table, 10 by 10 table, and they'd witness people in line buying knives, literally take a step out of the line and list the knife on eBay or on Blade forums for twice what they just paid for it. And he watched that happen all day long, and it just made him sick. He was pissed. I think he made a nasty post on his Instagram.
He did. And then he started, we talked about this last week, he started his own, God, not like knife show, but kind of like a knife EDC gear show kind of in his area.
Yeah, Tri-State's going to it. He was talking about. It's like several makers getting together.
Yeah, I think USA Made Blade is going.
What's his name? The owner's name, who always does the live streams? Scott
Whittingham.
Witty. Yeah, they call him Witty.
Yeah, they call him Witty. Or yeah, I don't know. I just like, then you like wonder, like, okay, so if you want to see if Blade Show turns into, I don't know, because I've never been there, if it just gets so commercial where the smaller makers or custom, you know, you're not going to see them. So then you have to go to like a smaller, you know, show, like one of the ones at
Nashville City Knife Show,
RP
New York.
Yeah, or the stuff out in like the California Custom Knife Show, or maybe a smaller Blade. Like, I don't know how small Blade Show Texas is, or Blade Show West. I don't know, because I've never been to any of them. So it was an interesting take, from him, and I just thought, well, so does that mean those guys will quit doing shows altogether, or will they just maybe go to like the smaller shows that are more kind of focused on small custom makers?
I think that is Oz's, and the basis for the show that's coming up is, from what I've heard, it's all secondhand, but I think it's pretty reliable, is he really is all about his customers. And so if he's going to sell knives for what he thinks they're worth for his customers, which are high, and he admits it, for, you know, the average guy to buy, but to see people buy them just to make more money than he makes on them has got to be a sharp pill to swallow, right? And Sharif, your website looks great, buddy. I would not have known it was under construction. I would have thought it was my slow computer. Joe, I'm all about the purple shred too. I think that is gorgeous. And guys, I did something else the last couple of weeks. I think you guys might have seen it. Did we do this last Friday where I showed y'all that I finally took the plunge?
Yep. Had you gotten it yet, or had you just bought it?
I just gotten it. I don't know if it had come in yet, but that is the, and I apologize for the cat. Tippy, you can't be there. Can you see that ear? But then I'd ordered this that I swore I never would, and before it made it to my house, I had gone online to buy a different pattern when I saw that they still had the low drag jack. But what I love about this one is it tests my manhood every time I take it out. I love that pink. And I was watching Ben last night. He was showing a lot of the pink ones. See how much different that color is?
It looks like I mean, that's just my screen. It looks darker on the other side.
It's darker. It's more vibrant on this side. But he said his OEM on this particular pink bazooka carbon fiber, this is the normal tolerance where you can get it almost black to almost day glow. And he said they don't match them. So when you get one, it's not uncommon for it to be, because you can still see the pink in here.
Yeah.
You just can't see it as vibrantly as you can there. Guys, give me 2 seconds to dump some food over here just to keep the meowing down to a minimal. I apologize. I'll be right back.
What did I miss in the chat? People are congratulating Dr. Drew Dude, or what happened? Sorry. You get caught up with talking and then you forget to read the chat. And it said that TS is nice. John's pooping? Maybe. Grateful Panic's meowing again.
The demands of an 8-year-old cat. Dopey's offering sexual favors for anyone who wants to buy him a Camanio.
Well, like, from who? And I mean, you didn't say what. I wish Dark Gravity was here tonight, because we've talked about this a couple times now. My Shiro debacle, or my thoughts on Shiro. And
about the where you saw the laser engraving?
Yeah. And I don't know. I just got this today. F95T, their turtle pattern. I missed my F95 so much, and Recon 1 had one, and then I had a guy that wanted to buy this, and I kind of backed out because I just love it so much. So finally I'm like, I got to figure this out. I don't know if I'm gonna piss off some people in the Shiro group, but there's a private chat that I'm in the Shiro group, and with all the hard core collectors and stuff. So I just finally asked them. I said, guys, what's the deal with Shiro? Is his stuff all made in house, or is he farming stuff out to China? Not that that's wrong, but if he's farming stuff out, then this isn't a $1,000 knife, in my opinion. And it got kind of heated. There were some guys, because I said and you can't see it, but the script in here looks the same as on some CKF stuff, and I said that's what I'm wondering. And one guy was like, well, stuff is done there, and then they put it together. I'm like, all right, fine. That's what I thought. I'm not willing to pay that kind of price tag then for. And he got lit up, and then he apologized, and he's like, oh, I forgot that was CKF, not Shirogorov. So according to like group experts, it's all, I'm gonna keep looking, but it's all done in house. The only thing they farm out is bearings and screws, and it didn't say what screws they farm out, because they've got lots of different types of, can't see that, proprietary screws. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead, because this is such a fantastic knife, and I missed it. But I don't know. I'll keep researching, but as far as I can tell, and they said they listed it on their website, but it's all in Russian, and I can't figure out how to translate it. So I know, because we've talked about it on here a couple times, and people will private message me and ask me what I think. And I told them, I was like, hey, it just looked really suspicious in Kevin's video. When I saw the lettering, it looks an awful lot like Shirogorov lettering. And, it's Russia. It's kind of fast and loose, right? They don't.
Yeah,
Their
sure.
rules. So, but they said that they talked to Sergey or whatever. I think there were two brothers and one's dead now at shows, and swears that it's all done in house except for bearings and screws. So I don't know.
Which makes sense, and there's still, you can't take anything away from the fact that they're great knives.
No. Marisol, yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Marisol, I'm putting a email in the chat so you can email me your address.
But so the Shirogorov F95T.
That's just so understated. I love the look of that one.
It is. I had the F95 plain Jane or nudist, what they call it, and I sold it because I wanted one of these. And then I saw Kevin's video, so I kind of pumped the brakes. I'm like, well, and I was like, oh, I got to figure this out. I got to, just my brain thinking the way it thinks. Like, I just can't, just because I saw something. I'm going to actually finally just step out and ask the people in the Shiro group and see what they say. So who knows? You never really know, right? You could walk in I have been in Medford's plant, but it'd be like walking in the Medford's plant and, it's just him in there in his underwear watching cartoons, and nothing's actually being made because it's all being brought in from overseas.
Right.
You can only take so many people at their word, right? Like Kev did with that one guy.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it because it's a nice knife, hands down, no matter who. But like I said before, it would be the price. Like, what am I willing to spend for Chinese labor? Is $1,000? That's kind of reaching. So for someone else making huge profits.
Hey guys, I just dropped a link in the chat and I was going to pull it up and I can't find it, but I pinned it. And what it is it is the link for the general giveaway tonight. One of the general giveaways. Where the hell did I put it? Where'd it go? I know y'all aren't chatting that fast. Did my link not go in there?
I saw something, but it scrolled up. There it is.
That was right here.
Link?
Yep. So that is this video right here. It's the one with the brother knife on it. Let me show you. And you don't have to do it right now. I'm just getting everybody pointed in the right direction. So when we do this drawing, everybody is good. So the second row down, the one that's got the brother knife on it. Let's see if that's the one I linked. Just real quickly go. Let's do this. Let me post it again. Yes, it's the same one. So this is for the general giveaway. And what you guys will do, will pop out of here sometime in the next 30 minutes or so. Go watch that video and leave a comment if you hadn't. And that's what we will draw the general giveaway tonight, which is going to be this brother knife. And guys, I have turned into a shipping machine. I shipped everything from last week, Saturday, using my little handy dandy label maker. But what I did is I picked up another one of these small fixed blades, and I did a blade swap because I wanted the black handles on the black blade. So this is a little slicey EDC carry knife in D2 and micarta with the satin blade. It's super light. Comes with a little belt clip that I immediately took off and put a strap on it. And if somebody wants a horizontal strap or an ulti clip instead of this, if you win it tonight and you let me know, I'll throw it in the box. So that's going to be for the everybody giveaway. And then we're going to do another giveaway later tonight, like we do, where we just put in the chat something. I'll go back and I'll find a knife. But then in about 30 minutes, I'm going to put a link up for the channel members, because I did a giveaway for the channel members. And tonight, what we're going to do there is give away this Kaiser Blade Series mini flashbang. It is full tie S35VN. And I just failed it. But it's a great little knife. It's small, medium sized. But we're going to give this to the channel members. And then, as if that wasn't enough, when I was getting ready for this, before I fell asleep and almost overslept it, I went in the back and I picked up my new Miguron. It's not the Polona, Pagios, the Miguron Pagos. And it is drop shutty. It's got thumb studs. Got a front flipper. And it's just got great action. I've got 3 of these Miguron knives. 2 of them are going to be up for Budget Knife of the Year. This knife, the only reason it's not is because of the belly, the drop point. But in terms of a great knife, it has what I consider Spyderco's G10. The G10 on this knife, or on all of my Migurons, is fantastic. It's got a 14C 28N blade. It has got a titanium clip, titanium pivot collar, and all the hardware, including the clip screws, are T8. So there's so many things that Miguron got right here. I figured we would come up with something later in the chat, drop it in there, and this will be our 3rd giveaway. So we've got some stuff to give away tonight after we hang out. And I'm going to leave y'all for 2 seconds while I go to the little boy's room, because I didn't do all this stuff beforehand, and I'll be right back. I hate to leave you, Steve, but I'll be right back.
That's okay. I finally start reading comments. What's up, guys? Got any questions for me? See this mess behind me? Sorry. We're moving. And the sad thing is, I'm trying to get my corner of the room clean. These knife boxes right here, I've got a whole other stack of them up here, and I'm trying to figure out how to store them in my new house. I'm going to have a much bigger man cave, but I want it to be kind of like just kind of a cool hangout spot. So I'm trying to figure out ideas on what to do. Dr. Drew, do I have a channel? Yeah, it's called Scotch and Things. 5-door puppy's doing good so far. It was an expensive month. Lots of vet trips, x-rays, barium tests. Vet had no really idea. And now we switched to soft food and limiting her water after eating and exercise, if that makes any kind of sense. But it seems to be doing the trick so far. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in a GSP Facebook. I joined a GSP Facebook group too, my God, the comments I got in there, because we were just kind of at our wits' end. She would basically eat, drink water, and not right away, but like 2 hours later, throw up. And her food was still pretty solid. So the vet thought maybe it was like a slow metabolism, something that it's not getting past her esophagus. And he said if that was the point, then even surgery wouldn't be worth it. That's when we switched to soft foods, because then it could get past easier. So we still, even after barium x-rays, they still have no idea, but she seems to be doing better. So we'll see.
Urban Woodsman, I saw that sale too. I was going to go by Harbor Freight and get one of those little wooden toolboxes for my slip joints.
I've got one behind me.
I see it.
Like, yeah, that's actually
Gershwin?
from, Gershner or whatever. That's not their U.S. My God, do you know what those things are? Like Oh, this is their overseas one, and it was still a couple $100 maybe. They have Blem's U.S. ones that they'll put on sale that aren't bad deals, but man, for a wooden box, hey, it's made in the U.S. It's a family company or whatever. No, it's a nice box.
And that's the big one, isn't it? That's like the mid-size, the one that goes.
I don't know. It holds quite a bit. Go to Harbor Freight, because I was in there last week, and I saw the box, and I was shocked how small it was.
Right.
Like, people have talked to, and I thought they'd be the same size as that box, but it's like half the size.
Yeah, it's made to have, because if you look at the ones that are made by Gershner, they make the small one for the topper, then they make that one for the middle, and they have a big cabinet for the bottom. Jared's got all three. Mr. Amazing sent them to him.
It's I almost, because my buddy Keith has an expensive Gershner, and I almost bought one last year, and I'm like, let's slow down. I was asking the guys, like, when I move, like, what I should be doing with my man room, because it's finally going to be all mine. No, I don't have to share this room with anybody. So I've got to figure out how I want to deck it out. Like, right now, you're sitting on a workbench, gun safe right here, and then a little tiny shelf back there for some storage, and that's it. So,
Jim, how do you like them? Urban Woodsman's got 2 of them. And I was just looking for one to put in my closet again, just for my slip joints, because I've amassed such a.
Oh, that would probably be the perfect size then. I didn't look at the price though, but it would have probably been the perfect size for if you're just gonna put slip joints and stuff in there. Like, not a ton of knives, but one style of knife.
Yeah, just like I think I've got 16 or 17. I'll tell you what I got in yesterday that was really cool. It was some stuff I ordered just kind of as a fluke from White Mountain Knives. And by the way, guys, if y'all shop at White Mountain Knives like I do, I no longer use Lefty 10. I use JuhVon's 10.
Nice. Congratulations.
But I picked that up. It's a Tucson for $40. Little
it
Damascus
looks like one of those
shell.
Henry. You seen those Henry customs? Those that kind of reminds me of that.
That's kind of what attracted me to it, was this little plastic lanyard or whatever. But I was just picking up a couple of different ones because they had them on sale, and they were all Tucsons. And the other one I'd seen on eBay a bunch, but I'd never bid on it. But it's this one right here. And that's in titanium and copper. And that copper's inset to the titanium, and you can feel no displacement. It does have a clip, which I wasn't super happy about, because you can't really take the clip off because the screw has a displacement. But the walk and talk is great. M390.
Like, I'm not a huge copper fan, but I just bought a copper pen.
They're heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, I like the weight. Like, I was never a patina guy, whatever. And you didn't want to get into slip joints? You should try pens next.
Yeah, I did the pin thing for about 6 pins, and then I started gifting them. I got Hook Dart Gravity up. I was going to get my phone while I was over there, and I didn't, because I was going to text him and Jason, because Jason was maybe going to come on and show some stuff. Guys, the Tripper is in. I don't know if any of y'all have been following the Tripper, the new Brass Brigade knife, but he was posting on Instagram today that it is in stock, getting ready to start shipping. Sezel's getting ready to be on his account, which is not good news for me. But it's this guy right here.
G-Ball. I was in Harbor Freight, and that Nardo, man, I don't need it. I'm just thinking for my new garage. Like all my tools, like I've got everything at work I need. I don't need all this a giant toolbox at home. My God, that Nardo gray, not the Icon toolbox, but the, what is it, the US, it's not US General. What do they call their other crap? I can't remember. They've got so many different brands or different lines. Oh my, with the top that sits on it and the lift up thing and the light. You know, that's what I need in my life. I thought one of their US General tool carts with the drawers and the flat top would be kind of cool to put down in my man room to put knives in. Is it US General, the big, not, it goes Icon, and is it US General, their next one? I was watching a bunch of videos on that last week. I don't need, that's how YouTube's like a rabbit hole. You go down one rabbit hole and like you start seeing these mechanics spending tens of thousands of dollars on a toolbox, and then you're, next thing you know, you're watching the Harbor Freight videos on how their toolbox is only $2,000 or $3,000, and you're like, that's a great deal. I mean, Snap-on is $30. This is $4. Hey, I gotta have it.
You do get value for your dollar. That's for sure.
I try and buy anything I can in there for work. We go through a lot of consumables and tools, and I'm going to, the guys broke one of my heavy duty saws we used to cut anchors with. So I'm gonna go buy another one this weekend. I'm gonna try Harbor Freight.
Have a good night, Kelly.
Holds up.
Well, I might have to make a trip over there tomorrow. I wonder if those things come assembled.
They do. You can buy them from Gershner, I think, in parts. They have like a parts kit, but like I said, I just kind of walked by and saw it, and they had a stack of them. So, like mine, I just pulled mine out of the box, and it was ready to go.
And did you find it at a local retailer there?
No, mine I bought from Gershner.
Oh, from Gershner?
Yeah. Like,
are they close to you?
An hour. So, or who, Gershner? Or, I'm sorry.
Gershner?
No, I thought they were somewhere from the East Coast, or they just sound old school, like Boston, or I don't know where they're from.
Good evening, Forrest, channel member.
Is it US General, Icon, Yukon? Maybe it's the Yukon box. I can't. I'll have to go watch videos now when I'm done with this.
I'm sporting my Forrest JuhVon's Knife Flicks, Hank. He does such a good job.
Oh yeah, well, brass. Who does his? Is it? I don't know who does it. Is it Best Tech?
For who?
For Jason's knives.
It is Best Tech.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Best Tech was the gripper, and Best Tech was the tripper. And what I think's cool about the tripper, let me see if I can find it again.
Yeah,
I love
so Dopey paid $6,500 for a toolbox. Are you a mechanic by trade? Like, I get it if that's your career, like, but I'm just some dude that wants it because it looks shiny and I want to put it in my garage. Bo knows. Oh yeah.
But I love the cutout hole in this, how he's got the coffin for the flipper hole. I just think that's cool. I'm not sharing, am I? Duh.
One moon, I picked up a pair of Bo Jacksons a couple weeks ago. Walked into the Nike store and they had them. I couldn't believe it.
I just love that he's doing the coffins in the handles of the J cows, and he also did it as this deployment hole. That's
$250.
Yep. Dude, they're great price. I'm going to grab one, and he says hopefully by the end of the weekend he'll have Sezzle on his site. And I don't know why Sezzle seems to make it less painful for me to buy something in 4 weeks over one. It just doesn't seem like as much. Like when I bought my Jack Wolf, I wasn't dropping 300, I was dropping 80 4 times.
Yeah. G-Ball, like we want, like you usually buy DeWalt, like God, I can't even talk. We run DeWalt.
Drink water. It's a good bit smaller than the gripper. I would say it is probably going to be a similar shape to the Ferrum Forged Buck, whereas the gripper is a full-size knife. They're about that different.
I just spent a couple grand on DeWalt batteries last week.
Yeah, the batteries are what gets you, but you got to have them, right?
It is.
Thank you, Q1 Fiend Ben. I appreciate that, brother.
I've got about 60, and we lose about 5 a year. So they age out and start to go, and it's, and the tools are, yeah, that's the hard thing. Like people are like, oh, I talk to other dealers and they run Milwaukee, and yeah, you'd like to try it, but I'm not, I'm $100,000 in just DeWalt tools, if not more. Like you can't just go switching brands. So batteries and the impacts don't last long, and I mean stuff just shells out, drills. So it is what it is. They've got a new battery line out called the Power Stack. Man, it's a nice battery. Sorry, I feel like Dark Gravity should be on here. We're talking just nonsense stuff now. Not talking knives. We're talking power tools and.
Hey, we're talking what's important to people. That's all it is. Let me text on Dark Gravity because I sent him a let's see what
Forrest SLR you do.
Let me make sure I sent Jason a link.
G-Ball, I've got a dealer I go through, and I've got an account, so I get special deals on. He gets stuff through DeWalt at certain times, so I'll buy batteries then, or I'll buy impacts. They just kind of, and it's kind of hit and miss, and sometimes you can send it in and DeWalt will fix it, and sometimes they won't. But it is, I mean, there's not many like DeWalt, Milwaukee. I'm trying to think of the other. Hilti. I mean, there's if you're using it as a career, and they're not bad. Like with anything, you have gripes. They switch stuff out and you don't like something, you can complain all you want, and they don't care. But they do, they make what's cool is they're making more and more stuff. So I've switched everything at my house to DeWalt now, because I was like, I had different stuff at my house and at work, and if I needed something, then I'm dragging bags of batteries around in different tools. So it's just one tool line through home and work. So
I got to meet and hang out with Q1 Fiend Ben over in Atlanta. We had breakfast together one morning, ran around the show together. Super nice guy. He was one of the few that was clean cut. Looked like a nice young man, unlike us other hairy apes. But Dopey doesn't know this. Unbeknownst to him, he inspired me to get this. This is a Civivi Circulus. And the reason I got it is Dopey, if you've ever seen his carries, when he lists his carries, he carries about 6 knives. And people in the comments are always like, yeah, right. Well, I stayed with Dopey at Blade Show, and I watched his carries. And he carries 6 is an understatement. But this little knife, he wears Converse Chuck Taylors, and he flips this down in his Chuck Taylor high tops. So this knife is so thin, he actually clips it down in his high tops, and it's like his high top knife. But it's a little skeletonized. To me, it looks like a mini Elementum, the blade shape. But it's just a great little 5-inch EDC fixie. I do it as a pocket dropper. And before I got this, because it lists for $55, but my brother from another mother, Cheeto Bandito, saw that I was looking for one and offered to sell me this at a fraction of the price. But I went to Amazon because lately, guys, I found some decent stuff on Amazon. But I picked this little knife up. It didn't come with this loop. But this is a knife that's very similar to the Civivi. Just a little skeletonized EDC kind of scalpel knife. There's no difference really in weight. There's no difference in thickness. This is $24 with the Kydex sheath. Great retention, no rattle. And the Civivi, which is a great knife, might have a little nicer handle when you look at them up close. This one's in one of those high CR SOVs. I can't tell if it's 10 or 15, where the little one from Amazon's in D2. So the reason I point that out is functionally for what I use a small knife like this for. Now that I've looked at them both in comparison, this knife would pretty much do everything this knife would for half the retail cost. And then, as you guys know, I picked up these Watchman Brother slip joints for about $35 on Amazon. And Watchman or Brother by Watchman is the brand, and they're only sold on Amazon. Well, that little fixed blade I'm giving away tonight is a Brother by Watchman. Tippy, fuck off. Sorry about that,
Kyle.
guys.
How you doing?
But I found this little EDC fixed blade. It's a Brother by Watchman. It's got a little tech lock that you can adjust. I'll probably put an ulti clip or a strap on it. It just came in today or yesterday. Today, I think. But this little fixed blade, I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. It's 14C 28N, very sharp, very minimal branding. It just has Watchman on the blade. Watchman on the blade there. Micarta handles. Kydex sheath with the tech lock. $26 and they'll deliver it to you tomorrow. And I'm not a budget knife guy. You know, I've kind of graduated from that, but when I see something that seems too good to be true and it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, I'm hoping to get one of these and have it be shitty so I can save the community that watches my videos from making the same mistake. But everything just from the Brother Watchman brand, 2 slip joints and now 2 fixies, have really exceeded my expectations. And I could recommend it just like I did that little Tucson TS 150. If you're not sure,
and
if
the sheath is,
blade
I know
damp,
Kydex isn't much, but I mean, the sheath is cost is in there too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like it's free. It still costs something to make that, and it looks like a nice sheath. It fits the knife. Well, it's molded. I'm sure they're just cranking them out, but still, it's.
And then I got this guy in this week from a brother from another mother who's in the chat, Jim Miller. It is a Sodbuster by Case. I told him, or just been saying, that the next slip joint I wanted was going to be in a Sodbuster or a Clodbuster pattern, because you see so many of them, right? And this is the full size, and I had no idea what a hardy knife this was. And guys, the more I use slip joints, I do not have any fear or trepidation that using one is going to somehow lead me to cut my hand. When I was a kid, I did cut my hand on one, but I was using it like I shouldn't use it. My dad told me not to mess with it while he was sharpening it. But these springs are so stiff, the way that you use a knife, I just don't see, unless you're closing it carelessly, how it's going to cut you while you use it if you're paying attention. Am I overthinking that, Steve?
I wouldn't. You know what's funny is I had so I mean, we're talking maybe 10 years ago. I had a Sogzilla. It was called a Sogzilla from Sog. And I went to a gun store that was closing, and they had the same knife, and I loved it for a work knife. I mean, we're talking 10 years ago. I didn't know shit. I don't know shit now. But I had, they had one, and it was like, it was fake carbon fiber, but I'm like, oh, it's a nicer version. But it was called the Slipzilla. I mean, not knowing it, it was a slip joint version of that knife.
Oh, neat.
And I used it. It's still in my toolbox, I think. Actually, no. One of my guys is still carrying it to this day. Like, I carried it for a year. I'm like, oh, I was kind of worried, because if you would pry, like, you know, you're prying with, and you shouldn't pry with a slip joint, but it would start to close, but it would hit the half stop. So I was like, all right, here's what I can and can't do. But one of my guys needed a knife, so I gave it to him. And then, you know, he left, and my one guy still carries it. He carries it in his tool belt. I bought him all knives last year, but he still uses that one. He drug it out the other day, and he's using it like a screwdriver. So I think if you're careful with them, you have to know, like, it's with any knife. So yeah, I was using a slip joint that I just was like blown away, because I thought it was going to be like my other knife, and it never cut my finger off, and I was doing dumb stuff with it. So, and I can tell you, it didn't have the half stops or the spring like yours do. I mean, right. It was, because I could, if I got enough, I could finger flick it, you know, and then I was excited.
Well, I know, because I use them more. I cut myself a lot more with locking knives. But what I learned when I first got into slip joints, through about 4 scars, is I would be on a WebEx or a video thing, and if it didn't have this ricotta here, and I'd be talking and I'd go to shut it, it would go into my finger, and I'd get these little, just perfectly sharp, almost like tribal self-cutting scars.
It's, dude, I can't, and that's any of it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, you know, not this knife, but how many times you put your finger and you're like, oh, I can touch the tip, and you push a little harder, and you're like, oh, okay.
That's why I don't do that.
I do it all the time. I'm an idiot, you know.
I'm gonna grab something real quick.
All right, me in the chat again. What's up, guys? I know Kyle. I know Fifth Door. I see Bam and Ninja talked about all the time. You guys talk about Dopey all the time. What's up? You guys got any more questions for me? I answered the dog question last time. I got my new dog knife.
Somebody mentioned earlier about the Jason Knight hummingbird, and I got one of these gifted to me.
Satisfaction.
This was a Kickstarter he did, So Jason Knight did the blade on my Michael Zeba, from Forged in Fire.
Yeah.
He made this little knife kind of to compete with that small EDC fixed blade. It's got a little recurve. It's got a super nice little poon up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it gives you a great place for your thumb. It's a neat little knife, and these were very economical.
Cheeto Bandito, what's my go-to? If I could only have one knife the rest of my life, it would probably be a Strider SMF. Because I know I could EDC it and use it for everyday carry, and I know I could use it at work and do dumb shit with it, and it would still hold up.
As
And it's easy to
sacrilegious
take apart
as
and
it
clean.
sounds, that is my number one still. It's not my most expensive by a stretch, but if I had one knife that I had to depend on for what I do, because I've got a PP for other things, I'm not going to be batoning stuff probably, but I love the field duty EDC.
I've had a lot of comments lately on all sorts on knife videos about tactical and stabbing, and I never think of my knives as like a defense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
My knives are I don't know. Just in my mind, it is a tool. It's a cutting tool. It's a pry bar sometimes. It's a screwdriver. It's just not. I've never thought of it as a. And maybe years ago I thought maybe if I needed something but I just don't think of it as like a self-defense weapon. If it came to it, I knew I could use it, but
There are things that you'd come to before that. At least I would.
Yeah.
Sharp
I would
Guy
never-
ATX is the
God,
one that hooked me up with this little bad boy.
What is the best Scotch you've ever had? Oh,
I'll make you throw up because I used to drink Scotch while you think about it, and I was not as fancy, but I was very much a Glenlivet guy.
I love Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, Macallan. I've had some very expensive Macallan. Thank you to my brother. I don't know. I was at a party with a rich guy, and it was a $400 or $500 bottle of Bundaben. I can't remember, but I've had $400 bottles of Macallan. I never I don't try and spend that. I enjoy Scotch. I think maybe that's why I like knives too, like the variety. But I'm fine with like a $50. It's hard. You used to be able to get them for 30, but 40 inflation, $40, $50 bottle of just 12 or whatever, Glenlivet. I'm a big Balvenie fan. It's just hard. I'm in a small town, so.
Do you like flavor? I'm just the opposite to where when I drank, before I found high gravity beers, I like Coors Light. I didn't like the beer taste. For Scotch, I liked the lighter Scotches that I drink on water. I wouldn't drink them just on ice. And then
I'll drink them on ice. I'll drink them on. I'll drink them on just neat. It depends. Monkey shoulder. It's not a bad, and it was even cheaper here. I think Monkey Shoulder was like 20 something bucks when it came out here.
Now I loved nothing more than a bottle of Scotch, a few cigars, and an 8-ball. That was the best. Me and my buddy playing guitar, drinking Scotch, and just enjoying it, but
so it's and I used to really like peaty stuff, and it's probably like my wife telling me to eat vegetables because my palate's always changing, or my taste buds. But I really used to like peaty, heavily peated, and not so much now. I don't know, just that something smooth. And it might be because I started drinking like Macallan, just anything. Their estate, their 12-year, their 18-year, or a Balvenie, and you drink it neat, and you can. It's weird. It's one of those things like you drink it neat, and it tastes one way. You put a little drop of water in it, or a couple drops of water, and it tastes completely different than it does if you're drinking it over ice. So, Johnny, you know what?
Stuff, there's a link pinned in the comment for the general giveaway. And then I'm getting ready to pin a link for the channel members. So I want you to enter in both of them. When you watch the video, it's only about 2 minutes. It shows the knife that I've showed earlier, and then it shows the word to put in the comment. So the first one, which is the general giveaway, the comment is pinned, or the link. So you can go watch that video now. And I'm getting ready to pop the other comment in there for a little while. They're both on my page. If you go just to JuhVon's Knife Flicks and you look at the members giveaway video and the other giveaway video, they were both posted last week, I think the same day. But I'm going to put the links in there, and that's all you do. And we're going to do a giveaway like we always do with a comment in the chat, but we'll do that later. I'm just trying to, in the background, get this facilitated. So I'm gonna, if you can find that pin comment and go enter the general one, I'm gonna pop a comment up for the members, because that's gonna be the Kaiser mini flashbang. And I'm excited about the member giveaways because I'm trying to, one thing I could do, Steve, is I can get a little toolbox, right? And I can keep my slip joints in it. Or more E&G, the G is for gangster, and generosity. I could gift out more of my Kaisers, sell my Finches at a good price, and then I would have a Apache 3800 case that I could keep my slip joints in.
See, that's another thing to look at Harbor Freight is those is the Apache. Is that their Pelican?
They're Pelicans. I've got 4 Apache 3800s that look like.
Yeah.
That full of knives.
I think I like this case. But the pain in the ass, it's in the basement. And so my new house, in the closet, the way it's designed, I'll be able to wake up, walk into my bathroom, walk into my closet, pick out what knife I want, walk through the laundry room into the garage, and no one will see me.
Isn't that great, designing a house at this stage of life where you could actually build in the things that you've always wanted?
Yeah. But then it's also I have a safe downstairs, and that'll be our master. That'll be no one should be in there. But it's also at the same time, it's do I just want expensive knives laying there in case my kids would have anybody over? But we would know that. And all right, so say we go out and my girls are in high school now and they have friends over. I know that we're going to be gone. I can just put everything away and lock it up. And my room downstairs is it's an all concrete room that I built to put a safe door on.
Evening, Thomas.
But we went so far out of budget. I'm just putting a regular metal door on right now, but it's built so I can put a safe door on eventually in the future. So, but
your
again,
jam's wide enough. You made it set up for that.
Yeah. So,
well, I would think too, your daughters would probably, the last thing they would let happen if they had people over, would anybody mess with your knives, knowing how you are about knives?
Yeah. And they
would rather probably burn cigarette holes in the living room than find out that Dad had his knives played with while he was gone.
Yeah, in the room that my safe is in now,
Dave.
They know, they just don't come in here unless they're looking for me. If they have friends over and they're showing them the house, they just never open this door. And that's what it'll be But kids are kids. I still remember in high school going over to a buddy's girlfriend's house and walking in the basement, and his dad had these 3 giant safes because he was retired military, and Steve, just call your Strider later. I know I need to get a Strider banner. But I mean, as dumb high school boys, we were like punching and dialing stuff. Like, we need to get this safe open.
Just to see what was in there, not to be nefarious, just to be curious kids.
Oh yeah, just because we were just stupid teenagers. So yeah, I don't know. I need to get so I've got a Chris Reeve. I've got that thing that Ben Peterson did last year.
Yeah.
A really nice poster on Chris Reeve knives. And then I got a metal sign from Hinderer. I need something from Strider. There was a guy that sold Strider flags, and I didn't pick one up. I just kind of want to have, I got Bo, and I've got
Bo's my favorite, dude. I was in Auburn when Bo was tailback, and I would stand in the student section hallucinating on LSD, drinking myself sober, and I would watch him slow step because they'd be playing ahead of us. They'd be running against the student section. We were in the student section end zone. And I'll never forget watching him with tracers, look like he's barely moving, sidestepping, and then just boom, shoot out of a cannon when he sees the hole. It was the most beautiful display of athletics and hallucinogens at the same time. I can remember one game, we were so impressed. They had to kick us out of Jordan-Hare Stadium because we'd been in there 2.5 hours finishing our wild turkey. We were up at the top of the student section watching them cut the grass of the field, just talking about the game. And they finally walked up, the cleaning guys, and were like, y'all got to get out of here. It was still light because it was an afternoon game. We're like, oh, okay, we're just reminiscing, And it's like the game ended 3 hours ago. But those are great times. But Bo's a great person. And if you can find, I would think you can get on some of your groups and probably find some good Strider memorabilia.
Yeah, there was a approved. I got to look, and there were just a flag, just something. I just want like stuff to hang on the wall, just fun, so it's not like a dungeon.
Is your desk going to be down there too? Or are you is it not going to be your study area where you do work, takeoffs and stuff like that?
I just do work from my computer wherever I am. I can do that on the couch. It's
you want that to be a separate space where you don't think about that crap.
Yeah, I might mount a TV in there. I have no idea why. I could probably just put a recliner in there and just no one would ever know I was in there. My wife and kids wouldn't care. So yeah,
that's
I don't know.
Really the purpose of a man cave, not to have a place where you can get your work done, but have your Scotch down there.
It's going to be a nice room where I can just kind of go, and I don't have to share it with, like, you see totes over here, like my wife is a tote fanatic, and that's just like girls' winter clothes or shit that the triplets wore, and she's hoping my younger daughter might like it. And when it's like there's like a 6-year age gap between them. Like, that might not be in style when she's ready to wear it. So,
dude, you are so calm and low key and even keeled to be the dad of triplets. That still freaks me out every time you say it. Somehow, I think dads of daughters, because I have one daughter, I think we hear that and we're just like, huh. Even though we know it would be 3 times the joy of what we think about our one daughter. But it's just, to me, I'm like, holy shit! How outnumbered were you for how many years?
I'm completely outnumbered. I'm the only. Even
you
my
and
dog
you and your boy.
Even my dog is a girl, so I've got no. It's just me. So
yeah, I don't want to put anybody down, but my companion Ashley, my 14-year-old German Shepherd, went to Rainbow Bridge when I was at Blade Show. Broke my heart that I wasn't here because she just fell asleep. She had the best passing of any and had the best life of any rescue dog that I've had, but is the best dog. But my mom was coming over to check on her because my mom came and saw her 3 times a day, her and the cat, and she was just asleep by the couch. And the only thing that would have made it 100% better had I been here and woken up and found her, knowing she fell asleep with me like she did every night, Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that as a downer. I'm just saying love your furries and just know that unless you buy a parrot or a tortoise, you're investing in a tragedy. But it's
Yeah.
well worth it. The love that you get, because they always say grief is really a meter of how much love you were provided by that loss when they were alive. Thanks, Crispy Critter. I've still got Tippy and my fur baby. When I go from this rental life post-divorce to a house, I will be definitely having another furry. And not to jump into another squirrel brain conversation, but at Blade Show, I don't know if you know Freak Show or Mrs. Freak Show, Scotch and Things. I didn't know him
No.
that well until I met him at Blade Show.
Have I heard? Are they in the comments? Have I seen them in comments? Or
Yes. I don't see him as much in my lives. I see him in Maddie's live quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, beautiful people. But at the Saturday night at the pit, they have a new addition to their family. It's a 7-week-old male Rottweiler. And they are in the pit. You know how, the pit is just basically the bar at the Galleria that's sunken down. So after Blade Show, it's really loud. People are talking over each other. Well, Miss Freak Show is holding this fur baby on his back. Looked like he'd been drugged, but he hadn't. He's dead asleep. And when she gets him close to you, he'll just not even open his eyes, but he'll kind of nibble on you and he'll kind of nibble on your hair and you smell that puppy breath. But he was the sweetest, most low-key dog. Never once sat up, never once was distracted by all the people. And his name's Diesel. And there will be another fur baby in my, Q1 Ben. People wanted that dog. That was the coolest dog ever. Just because, A, it was gorgeous. B, it was just precious cute. C, it had puppy breath. D, it had that super soft puppy stomach. But then the fact that it laid on its back in her arms, totally trusting, with 150 people talking over each other around it, to me just blew me away. That shows me what a good dog. Chicago 23, what is up, brother? Channel member. Yeah, I'm sure he is a chewing machine, Jim. Because anybody that gets a Rottweiler or a Lab or a German Shepherd, that's part of the game.
Or a German Shorthair.
Yeah, if you don't get them, that's their gig. It's just like when you get a cat and then you get mad that it brings you dead animals like cordwood. That's what cats do if you let them outside. They're predators. They're little apex neighborhood predators. And that's why every time, because I'm squeamish and I love little animals, but every day I'm left a chipmunk, a bird, or something, and I have to go out and go, oh, good, Tippy, thank you, because I know in her mind,
they did it for you.
But you stupid human, you're going to starve to death if I don't hunt for you. So this morning, look what I brought you, and then I have to go put it in a bag and dispose of it. But yeah, they don't eat them. What else did I get? Oh, I'll show y'all something kind of different. I'm not supposed to show it, but I can show it to my people on live. Have you ever seen a sheath like that?
A wooden or a box?
Yeah, this is a little fixed blade I picked up at Blade Show to help them come up with a sheath, which is basically a taco sheath. But this is a Vosteed or Volsteed.
Okay.
They make the gator, they make the nighthawk, the raccoon. They're kind of a leading budget and mid-range knife company. Super nice guy. And they had these 3 fixed blades there. And on Sunday, I was talking to one of the guys. I think his name was Ting or Jan. It's Dr. EDC on Instagram. Anyway, and I asked him when these knives were going to be available and what price point they were going to be, because it's got a nice frag micarta handle, 14C blade. It's not much more all that. And I might even send him that sheath from this knife, but it's about the same size. This is what they being the industry, an EDC size knife, which to me, this is about a 7.5-inch knife. And this is bigger than what I would consider an EDC size knife. For me, an EDC size knife is between 5 and 6 inches tops. But that's just me and my hand and how what the hell is that? But I'm very interested in this because the other feedback I gave them was if you're going to take the time to venture from split or from folding knives into fixed blade knives, if you do some research, I'm just telling you what I see, but I think if you do some research, you will see that there is a lot of merit in the smaller knives. Not that you have to do a skeletonized knife, but that knife that I was just holding, if it was scaled down to have a little micarta handle, kind of like a bigger chickadee, but that's the size, because even on the Civivi, one thing they got right was the jimping. You can make a little fixed blade very, very handy and very concealable if you don't mistake it with a camp knife or a hunt knife. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a specific, you're not going to take a knife like that and take it camping. You're not.
Or you're not going to take it and go break down cardboard.
Yeah.
But if you get a package that comes in, you might use this because it's easier to grab than your pocket knife out of your pocket if you're sitting down. Crispy, I get that too, buddy. Kyle Coonley, I didn't see you in there. Channel member, welcome, brother. All right, so this pinned comment up here, that's the general giveaway. I'm getting ready. Hopefully y'all have all gone and entered there because that's what we're going to give away. The first general giveaway, which is going to be this little brand new blue Brother fixed blade EDC knife. The reason I said is I'm going to replace this pinned comment with the members only comment so that they can go make sure everybody gets entered that are members in that giveaway. And that's this one right here. In a second, we'll start doing some drawings. And then we'll have another, like I said, a giveaway at the end where we just find out how to give away our Miguron. So I just replaced the pin message, I think. Y'all check it and let me know if I'm wrong. But that is the members only. And I expect to see Satisfaction in there. I expect to see, it may come in a Kaiser box. It's very possibly going to come in this Civivi pouch in a box. It will go out tomorrow because I've got a mailing label now and no shit sits around my house for more than 4 hours because I love printing my thermal labels. So my pirate ship and my packages will be printed at the end of this live if I get addresses. I can't believe it took me so long to take that plunge. And you know where I learned about it? You know what made me get a small thermal printer and a pirate ship account? You'll never guess.
No.
Dark Gravity.
Did we talk about that last week or no?
Yeah, I think we did. No. He was trying, or 2 weeks ago before Blade Show, he was telling me that he had one coming.
Because for his side gig.
Yeah, for his side gig. And that's what he's doing now. He might jump on in a second. He was responding to some listings. Guys, the actual Byron Kennedy, what's up? Randy's WSG. Dark Gravity is staying so busy, just spending the afternoon stopping by a thrift store, grabbing a couple of shirts that he knows what he's looking for, putting them on Posh and some of these other more specific clothing sites. He is knocking it down. He's doing a great job. But he told me about that little printer. And so I shipped out, since I've had it, probably 7 knives. When I took 7 knives, the last time I let them pile up to the UPS store and shipped them, it was like $107.
Yeah.
When I shipped 7 knives through Pirate Ship, I'm guessing it was right around 50.
Seriously, how much was the
shops
printer?
Rates, dude. What you do is you put in the box, you put in the size, the weight, where it's going, the address, and it keeps my address book for me. So if I get winners that win, what's up, Chris Hinkle? If I get winners that win multiple times, or as I start collecting people's addresses from Knives Live, when we get into that, I'll kind of have a database of places I can ship people stuff. So you just might have some shit show up from me. If you do, open it. It'll be good shit. But it's just, I forgot where I was going with that, but I totally left me. Just
I need to get it because we talked about they insure it.
yes,
where
and
the
you can
post
add
office won't.
insurance. So like when I sent Sabby Stokes, Mary Ellen, I sent her my relative last week because she wanted to handle one, the one I got at Blade Show. I love Mary Ellen. I think she's fantastic. So I sent it up to her and I insured it for 4 bills. I don't need 4 bills. It's not worth 4 bills. But I know that Lefty had that situation with the deadlock. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he insured it for a high amount, and he was wondering because he's never had success with the post office. He's had very few incidents, but he got it all handled. Now, finding the deadlock people were nice enough to make them one.
Yeah.
But he got the cost of it handled through the pirate ship claim. They didn't try to say, no knife's worth that or anything like that. It was just, he said, a pretty pleasant process, as pleasant as one can be when you destroy somebody's deadlock, right?
That's, yeah. I get worried, like I ship and get shipped a lot of stuff and it's only a matter of time because you see the horror stories all the time of like guys posting pictures and the box is just sliced open. Oz just had it. Someone posted in the Oz group that, do the companies need to not put like Oz Machine Company or, because
it was happening to knife modders forever. Tri-State sent right before his wedding 2 years ago. He sent them 2 knives, his Wee Malice and something else to get modded. They opened it on camera, knife modders, and when they opened the package, it was little bottles of essential oils. So someone in the post office out there not only stole the knives, but replaced them with the exact weight.
Oh, yeah.
And then Richie and Lindy said, we've had this happen several times because things are going to knife modders. So if there's a thief who's a knife guy in the post office, that's easy picking. Yeah. So I think not using the name is a great first step.
Well, it was smart.
The thing that Lefty failed on, and I don't blame him for it because he uses those bubble mailers, which do a great job, but that should have really been in a box in a bubble mailer. And what I do, if I have a nice knife that I'm mailing somebody, and I know it's annoying as hell to unwrap them, but I get a post office box and we'll tape it to the box before I fold it up and then put the wrap around it so it can't be pulled out.
Yep.
But it sucks that we have to think like that, right?
Oh, it does. Like there's
congratulations, Chicago 23. You are going to love it. Dude, that's the Hinder Eclipse.
DLT's got some of the fastest shipping in the game, man.
They are, and they're fantastic people. I love DLT.
I'm still kicking myself. I will be there this summer. I get to go to DLT this summer. I'm so excited. We're going to Michigan for vacation, and we go through.
They are in Duluth, Michigan. Duh.
No, they're in Wisconsin, aren't they? Yeah, they're in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So 3 or 4 years ago, we went to the same. We're going to a different area, but anyway, we're going through the same place where they're out of, and I stayed in the town they were in, and I had just bought my Hinderer, my very first Hinderer, from my local shop. So I was like, I just got a Hinderer. I don't need to go. And this is the year before COVID, this was COVID, right before everything just went
before
insane.
Everybody was buying knives.
Yeah. So I'm kicking myself for not going in and checking out their store, but I'm going to go there this summer.
Chicago 23, is yours the Eclipse? Or is it the, either one's great. I saw the Fatty XM18 Warncliffs, missed them. I think they had the regular XM18 Warncliffs left at Blade when I was there. I don't think those were Eclipses, but I have a flipperless Eclipse that is probably my favorite hinderer. Between that and the XM18, I've got a 3-inch XM18, which was my first hinderer. Skinner blade, which I'm just, and there's actually one right now. Hold on. Let's see if it's still there. Y'all chat amongst yourselves.
Oh, there's one
somebody on a deal.
Like I like the XM18, but I just don't find myself caring. And I talk about it in what did I talk? I just uploaded a video today.
I know it's not too big for you.
No, it's not. And I don't know why I love the action, but it's just always one of those knives where it's like, I just like don't say I got to carry that today. And I don't know why, because I've got the one I want. It's all titanium with the Spanto blade.
It's beautiful.
3V. I mean, I'm just an idiot. Like, I need to carry it more.
You've got a lot of knives, Steve. It's not
that's the problem. Yeah, that is the problem.
All right, guys, as I slowly go by here, you can't see me probably, but here's we get to Shed Knives. Fantastic human being, made in America. He is now listing his knives on NAF sale. $120 for a made in America 3/16, a quarter inch of 154 cm. But what I'm looking for is this 3-inch XM18 Skinner. I've never seen one before in the wild, except for the one I've got. And if I was, see that knife right there, that Kaiser Critical? I've got one of those. I had a Harpoon. What do they call the Harpoon? What's their? But what is that skinny blade called? Yeah.
Is it a Harpoon or just the? I had that in the skinny, all battle black, and I should have kept that one. I like the skinny XM18. It's just kind of like this. Hey, I've got this XM18, but it's just a little bit thinner.
I know it's still on here. Let me just search for it. It might have sold because you rarely see 3 inches.
Do they pull them?
Yeah.
If it's so you can't go back and like check past sales.
It's sold. Now you can go to. I think you can go look if you're a member. Like if I'm logged in, I can look at expired listings. So when you buy on here. Because I bought my first knife on here. I don't have a seller's account, but I bought, I have to do it on my phone. Let's see, what's my username? Hold on a second. Because I think you can look at sold listings like you can on eBay, but they were only asking $350 for it.
It kind of helps to look at, if you could see like pricing to help gauge if you're wanting to sell something.
What the market's really doing.
Yeah, so you don't look like a dumbass.
But this is the Skur, guys. This is what I picked up at NAF sale. My one and only so far NAF sale purchase. And I'm not at all disappointed. So much so that for $20 today, I reached out and I ordered a set of black G10 scales. So these day glows are going to go in the closet. But if you knew how little, but how freaking honking this felt. I mean, if you're talking about a Slurpee saver at the 7-Eleven, you're not getting my Slurpee.
It looks like you've got someone with that one.
But $120 to me seemed like a steal just for the materials alone. Just if I hung it on the wall. And let me see if I've got some paper. I do. I've got my I did this in my unboxing. I'm not a good cutter. A lot of this is cutter air. And this belly is going to let me slip out of the cut. but it's very slicey. But it does pull out of the cut. But I could imagine, since it's a fishing knife, if you're gutting trout with this, that would lay trout open all day long.
And you're not going to dull it.
It is crazy thick, Kyle. I've got let's do this. Let me get my calipers.
Why is it so thick? Did they explain that for like it's made for trout? You think you wouldn't want to?
We'll go to their website, and all his knives, the little ones and the big ones, that's one of their trademarks. And it's not my calipers. These are Grateful Panics calipers. And they're nice one. They're Magapasugis or whatever. 0.2175 thickness. Behind the edge, above the bevel, this is right at the top of the sharpening bevel. 0.0575. It is thick. But I guarantee you could chop wood on they've got a video on their website. I'm going to go to their website in just a second, because I do love these knives and they're American. I have no affiliation with them, but $120 to me seemed really cheap for this. And it comes with a killer Kydex sheath that's set up to where I put an ulti clip on mine. It comes with a plastic clip, but it's set up for you to go down and kind of rock it back so you lock it in. But you saw how heavy that knife was. There's no rattle whatsoever.
Do they make? You showed us the other, that triangle. Like how many blades do they make?
I'm going to go to their website and we're going to take a look at them, because they make a lot. And they also, if I'm not mistaken, when I talked to them at Blade Show, because maybe it was Doom. I thought it was my buddy A to Z who was with us, who was going to be on here, but I think it might have been Doom, was asking them if they would be commissioned to do something. So these are their 2023 models. This is what they had at Blade. I love this one. Can y'all see these?
That looks cool. That looks like it would be.
And it's about the same
like
size as the Skr.
Like you could just roll it or rock it on. Like, I'm no expert on chef stuff or whatever.
We'll be able to see it down here.
They're so thick.
This is going to kind of go in size, okay? So the Skrs, they're smallest. That's the one that I showed you. And then this is their Skr Tanto. And the only reason I say Skr Tanto, because on knife sale, that's how it's marked. So I'm thinking this knife and this knife are about the same size. It's just the different in a big belly, and they call this a US Tanto because it's a reverse Tanto. This is the one that I might add this resilience, because it's the same length as the Skr and the Tanto, but it's got this, like you were saying, that kind of dropped handle.
Yeah.
All of them have fantastic choils. All of them are set up to be sharpened. And then you move up to this Tutara. It's $160. And it is a 4 1/4 inch blade, 10 inch overall. So they get into full size knives. All of them are 3/16.
See, and you said those are hollow grinds.
They call it 3/16.
So that's just like a shallow hollow grind, huh?
Yeah, they're shallow hollow grinds, about a third hollow. And then you can even get this big bad boy. Check this out. Tell me that's not a camp cleaver. But just really, really neat stuff. In their booth, they were so engaging. This Conquest is on NAS sale right now. More of a self-defense knife.
Yeah, that looks more like like you said, you'd scout carry that and you could stick someone with it.
Yeah, and it's that same 3/16 blade for, what was the price on it? That's the one they've got on sale. That picture right there.
120 or something like that.
Yeah, 126 or something. And that shows the size next to is that a Delica? But these lanyard handles, I could see how they could come in handy if you were, on a campsite or having to beat on something. You could definitely hammer with them. These look flat. Let's see if this one's flat. Hollow. Now this is a hollow grind too. Maybe it's a compound. But anyway, they make some really cool stuff. And when I met them, like this sheep's foot's really nice. If you're looking for a work knife, look at that guy for $162. 3/16, 154 cm. This is them. That's one of the sons. But they're doing it right. I mean, they're making what I consider overbuilt, very reasonably priced for handmade crude. And I said that in my unboxing, and I said, don't mistake this as a negative, but they're a crude but wonderful knife. I mean, the box is very nice. You get this Kydex sheath with this belt loop, which works just fine. Little care instructions, 2 stickers, and then this little COA that tells you what the knife's made of, what the HRC is, and all that good stuff in a very well done box for a small company. But I bet this one's big because I'd be interested in that. 987 overall, 4.4 blade length. See, that's just too big for me unless I'm on a campsite.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't lash it to me if I was, because it does weigh, I want to say this weighs, ounces. So that on a sheath is 11 ounces. But it is so good. I got excited about it. Mike McLaughlin, channel member, what is up? Urban Woodsman.
Chunker.
I hadn't been paying attention to the chat. Okay, so let me just ask a question since we're 2 hours in. Has everyone, because it's going to take me a second to do it, has everyone gone to the general giveaway that we're doing for the brother knife? The video that wasn't members only for the brother knife? Did everybody go there that's in the chat and leave a comment? Is everyone represented who wants to be represented? Let me show you what we got here. I did a little blade swap or handle swap and switched out the blue handles with the satin blade that I had and put my G10 handles on the black blade, and I'm giving this one away. So I'm getting ready to give this away, but I'm going to give you guys final warning, and I'm going to put the link in the chat, and then I'm going to go in the background and try to find out how to pull the comments and do all that happy horse shit while y'all, the final stragglers, go register. And feel free to watch my commercials and feel free to click on my ads because I'm going to start shilling my shit. I've got t-shirts. I've got hug me pillows that are therapeutic that say choose debate, not hate, and you can snuggle with them. I've got flip-flops on my Teespring store. I've got desktop wallpaper for your iPhone that looks like this. And then you can put a sticker on the back of your phone and you can be just branding me out. I'm starting to sound like Kevin.
You're going to be lefty.
I'm kidding, guys. But I just pinned the general message. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see how many comments are there. So you can talk to me, but I'm not going to be looking at the comments. I apologize. I've got to figure out how I did this last time.
Dopey had a good one. He says, "You've spent more time tonight going to get knives than actually showing the knives."
Dopey knows he can get me where it hurts because he knows my weaknesses. He got to spend 3 days with me. Tell him that works both ways. I can start slamming him on his weaknesses. All right.
I was having a trouble last week on theirs trying to type on my phone.
I'm surprised Dark Gravity hadn't jumped in yet. He must be listing a bunch of stuff.
Gotta be making that money.
Duplicates.
I fell asleep shortly after Shane's
comments by
Sunday.
words. Well, I've got to have premium to filter it by words.
I know he talked about doing the shorts with EDC pocket dumps or pocket checks with people, and he said he did one with Taylor Martin, and he said he did it, but then he kind of gave him that look of how is this going to benefit me or whatever. He kind of big timed him or gave him like the maybe the feeling that he was, like, don't you know who I am? Or not that I'm saying that, but
there were several instances of that, unintentional and intentional at Blade Show, which I call
from other big time YouTubers or him and like, and it's like, dude, it's YouTube. You're not anybody special.
What's funny
my kids could get on YouTube and make a channel.
And what's funny is when I went for the first year, I was kind of at awe of the people that I'd been watching for a year, because you watch them, they don't watch you. But then I got to meet them and hang out with them, and it made me love the community so much more because they were all authentic. And so this year when I was over there, it's weird because people do recognize you because they're in the community.
Yeah.
And you just say, what's your screen name? And then you know somebody else, right? You meet somebody else. And it's just like when Dark Gravity and Shane, Grateful Panic, and A to Z EDC and me go to this little hamburger place and talk knives and show knives in the parking lot. It's just like a big version of that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, but there are, and think about it in simple economics, there are those out there that command a bigger audience from both the exhibitors at Knife Show, that there's certain YouTubers that exhibitors want to see and schedule time with. And that's no fault of either one, of the YouTuber or the manufacturer, right? It's just the way business works. But there was a couple things, I won't even repeat it, but a very, very funny, the ultimate troll that I think y'all might have heard it on Shane's live. But if you didn't, go to Shane's live. Urban Woodsman, no, we're getting ready to do it. And by the way, Urban Woodsman, you do not have to be here to win. So as long as you've left a comment, if you win, I'm going to write down the name. I'm going to put in the email, that you've got so many hours, days to contact me. And if it's somebody that I know, which I'm hoping it will be, I will make sure that I reach out to you versus some way so you know. So yeah, you don't have to be here, buddy. I know you do. And I'm going to pull it. Right now we've got 65 comments. I'm going to see if we've gotten any more. And then I'm going to share the screen and we are going to... All right, we're at 66 comments. So what I'm going to do, guys, before Urban Woodsman goes, stay there because I'm getting ready to do it, Urban Woodsman. I'm going to share the screen. Any last minute people, the comment should be pinned. Here's the YouTube random comment picker. I've dropped the video from right here. Right here, I'm filtering duplicate users. I'm going to do my 8 + 1 = 9. I'm going to get my comments. I was at 66. We're still at 66, so y'all get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the brother Fixblade. I hope it's Urban Woodsman. Dr. Drew Dude.
Congrats.
Congratulations, man. Now, Urban Woodsman, have you left yet? Don't leave yet. Urban, go enter the members giveaway for the Kaiser mini flashbang, and if you win, I will make sure that it gets to you. That's the one we're about to give away next. So there's a members only video up there, Urban Woodsman, that all you got to do is go leave a comment. And as you just saw, I cannot filter comments by word, so you can leave any comment you want in there. Dr. Drew Dude.
The Dr. Drew Dude, that reminds me of, is it Dr. Funky or Frunky? Dr.
Frumpy.
Frumpy? Whatever happened to him? He like just kind of disappeared.
He disappeared. You know, there's several that have disappeared, but I've seen it happen before and them come back. Yeah. Dr. Drew Dude, I'm putting an email address in here. And if you will email me your mailing address, I will get this out to you tomorrow, my friend. Let me make sure I put it in there right. Boom. Let me pin it to the chat. All right. So, moving on. I'm going to unpin that comment.
Slice is coming back.
You know,
I honestly thought he would. I thought he would. When that
I don't know
went
why
down,
he hasn't. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been able to make restitution to the people that he said he was going to. That's the only thing I can figure. Because I think if you make a mistake,
or just pure embarrassment.
Well, embarrassment.
Maybe his ego is so
that's a flaw
that
he should be able to get over with.
Maybe it's just pure embarrassment. But I liked watching it. I never had any dealings with him, but
I liked watching him, and I think me and everybody else in here, if he came out and said, "Hey, I've done the best I can to make people right. I got overwhelmed. I'm going to come back and make videos. Whether you watch, great. Whether you don't, I understand. Greg, what's up? But I'm going to get back to doing what I was doing." I think he'd be welcomed back with open arms. But if he's told people that he's going to make them right, one of those people's Zach, and he hasn't made people whole, it's kind of hard to come back.
Yeah.
So you never know. It's
how much money are we talking? Like,
I liked his content. I found him arrogant, but I like that about him.
He was very, but I think it's because he was did you ever see, he's got some comedy on YouTube?
Yes.
Because he was a comedian, and then I was kind of like, because he claimed like he was a mountain bike racer, and I rode mountain bikes back in the day. So,
well, do you know the story about that, right?
About what, the knives
the
or
mountain
the mountain
bike
bike
thing?
racing? No.
So I'm going to pin this comment, guys. This is the members giveaway that we're getting ready to have. Please
hold on
go
1 second.
Comment in there. The mountain bike thing. So he had a mountain bike distribution.
Wait, I'm going to hear you. I got to run. I'm going to mute my screen, but I'm going to still see you.
I'll wait till you get back, buddy. I'm just going to let people go make those last comments. And as you guys know, I can't filter by comment because I don't pay for the comment picker. So all you got to do is go watch that video or a few seconds of that video and leave a comment. And I'll see how many people have so far done that. Paste. Filter duplicate users. 14. I'm talking to myself. All right. 404 error. So what I've got to do, I forgot about this. All right. Here's the deal. I'm going to assume somebody tell me if they're a channel member, if they have not over the last week or so had a chance to leave a comment, because I've got to do something sneaky before I do that giveaway and kind of do it on the sly. So I'm going to give y'all a few minutes, if you're channel members, to go leave a comment. Then at some point in about 3 minutes, you're not going to be able to leave a comment. And I'm just going to pop the screen up and you're going to see me drawing a winner. So if you are a channel member and have not entered, this is your last call to go leave any comment in that video. And I'm going to play around in the background here, doing shady shit.
Did
Hey,
you guys? Can you hear me?
Copyright strike.
How?
It wasn't a penalty. It was Shane sharing video on my live stream, or somebody. It wasn't Shane. And they said, oh, it was ENG, or ENG pointed out that it would probably be a copyright strike. And the filter, it was a Led Zeppelin song. The filter caught it that night. I had a little message in my studio that there was a copyright problem. All I had to do was click on a link. It took me to the video in YouTube Studio and had it already timestamped. It was like 7 or 8 seconds that YouTube was willing to just remove from my video, which I let it. I said, please do. And then it was monetized again and my strike was lifted. But it wasn't a strike against my channel. They made it real clear that this is not a strike against your channel. It's just a strike against the video. So I hope everybody's registered, because I'm getting ready to go make something happen.
I always get worried, like you get into like, you know, like we've talked about negative comments before. Like if you disagree with someone, how thin-skinned are they, and are they going to go make a beef? And I don't even care anymore. It's just like, don't be an idiot. I've had some really dumb comments lately. That's why. Did you wash your hands? Dude, I did. I'm sorry. There's actually hand sanitizer in there too. Did you hear me scream when my wife scared the shit out of me? I forgot.
Yeah, I heard you. I didn't know if you were screaming at her. The dog did something to scare you.
No, I walked in the way I ran out to the garage, grabbed a beer, and I walk in and I went to go downstairs, and my wife is up here and she's supposed to be in bed. She's like, Steve, and I just scared the shit out of me. And she's yelling at me.
That's funny, dude.
I tried to be quiet. Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Yeah. Tell us your mountain biking story.
Oh, that was Slicey's story. Give
Yeah.
me 2 seconds and I'll share it with you. Let me see if I can go back and do this. But yeah, Slicey had a store where he sold mountain bike parts, components, high-end components.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the word started coming out during the Slicey Gate that this was not the first time that these type of things happened. Meaning, in my mind, which is very simple, that Slicey had run into this shenanigans before in the mountain biking business and was run out of that and got into the knife game.
That's a weird, like, only because like he would bring it up and talk about how he used to race, and like I said, like I was an enthusiast.
It changed the link,
never,
guys. This could be weird. Hold on. 10, 11, 12, 13.
Never got like super. I've always been into bikes in one form. You know, when I was younger, raced BMX, and then went to mountain biking, and then it went into road biking, and now it's just biking for fun. But
I love mountain biking. I wish I still had one. Here I go. Boom. Hit.
Congrats.
The man, the myth, the legend. Let me write this down real quick. And let me give Pitt my email. Congratulations, Pitt. You win the Kaiser Mini Flashbang. All right, where'd I? And Mare Salt, I still need your address, Goob. Hold on a second, I'm not seeing my other note. With Dr. Drew, dude. Where's Dr. Drew, dude? Well, that's bizarre. I'm going to rewrite Dr. Drew, dude. Sorry, guys. I got Dr. Drew. Dude. And then Pitt on the Kaiser. Flashbang. All right, now I'm going to put my email in the. Oh, Dr. Drew Dude, you played for Josh Branson? Okay, Josh Branson. Both of you and Pitt email me. That was DKSFS. Oh, I did probably type it wrong. Knives Live 2021 at gmail.com. That should be it right there, guys. Knives Live 2021 at gmail.com. And Josh Branson, if you would send me, Josh, are you in continental US? Or do you have a proxy? Just email me, we'll get it worked out. And then I'm going to stop sharing. Congratulations to Pitt. Congratulations to Dr. Drew Dude, who passed his congratulations on to Josh Branson. Maddie. It will be for pickup only. Yeah, I haven't seen Shane tonight. That tells me he's at the, he's either boycotting me or he's at the strip club. I'm thinking he's at the strip club.
Does he work there still, or is that
just
a hobby?
He just, one of the bartenders there he's fond of. So, we are 2 hours and 21 minutes in. We still got some time, but I've got to come up with the random chat picker to give away the Megaron. Let's see which one this is. I think it's the Polona. No, Megaron.
I hope people appreciate how many knives you must have that you're giving away like 3 a night.
Oh man, I love. That's why I started doing it for members too, because I love. You know, if we were all sitting around St. Nick's and we were talking about knives and somebody needed a knife, I'd hook them up, right? So this is the Pagos. Plus, it makes me feel better because I'm moving some out where I'm not having to buy another case.
Yeah.
And these ones that I'm buying for the channel, like these Megaron, I've gotten a lot of joy out of them because I've seen how budget knives are kind of progressing. I find every one of these knives fabulous. I mean, for the T8 hardware, to the G10, to the 14C, to the action, to the thickness. I like a thicker knife. It feels like a knife. But I wouldn't experience them if it wasn't for the channel. So it only makes sense that I pass them along. I'm not going to keep them in my collection. And you'll never see me, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you'll never see me go, hey, if you've got knives that you don't love anymore, donate them to the channel because they're fun to give away. Because if that was the case, you guys would hopefully give them away yourselves so you could feel what it's like to hook somebody up with a knife. Feels good, guys. It's a win for me.
Start shopping pretty soon. I got my guys Kershaw's last year, and they are rode hard and put away wet. I mean, tips knocked off. I mean, just one of my dudes is rolling around with this tip completely gone, but they absolutely loved them. So we'll have to get them something.
You've got to come up with a replacement for the team.
Yeah. And they use the and that just goes to show you, man, you can use any knife. They've been carrying them for almost a year now, and they've held up fine, other than like the tip getting snapped off one of them.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you can get the same joy, because I can't tell you, when I got my first CEO, my CRKT CEO, which was the first modern knife I bought in COVID, it made me, in some way, as happy as my first Hinderer. In a different way, if that makes sense, because I was stoked to have it. So it was just awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to think of a word. Let's do this.
Bandwagon or brand new Americans, not a fan of bees.
He likes bees. I mean, Bees is a great guy. It's just that he's not a fan of his style of videos and his lives that are, promoting giveaways. I try to never promote a giveaway. I try to just do it on the down low, right? Because I don't want to bring people in. I don't want traffic or viewers that aren't here because they want to hang out with each other, right?
They want the free shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Stevie's gotten really good about, if he doesn't recognize your name on their said faction, he'll ask questions. He won't give the knife away to just a stranger. If it's not somebody that he's communicated with, because at the end of the day, we want to give knives to our friends. I can't use all my knives. I could spend time setting up an account on NAF sale and selling. What would I do? Sell 5 or 3 Migurons as one set? I'd rather just pass them along. And another thing is, I'll never give you a shitty knife because it's coming from my collection. They're not being sent in to me from viewers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just think to ask for people to send in their knives that they don't love so that I can give them away, my brain perceives that as being selfish, where I should encourage, if you've got knives that you're not using anymore, why don't you reach out to somebody in the chat who hadn't won and pay it forward? Let somebody else feel that gratification of doing something kind for someone.
Was that Satisfaction's in here? Was that last week in your life that we were talking about Space Camp? I struggled through that one. Was it?
Dude, I live in the city with Space Camp.
Do you remember Space Camp the movie?
I do.
I can't. Was it called Space Camp?
It was called Space Camp, I think.
I still remember watching that as a kid, thinking, I want to go to Space Camp, so I can go. I'm going to fly the space shuttle.
Everybody can picture themselves launching out the backyard there.
I love, my dad built parts for the first shuttle, well, for most of the shuttles, but the first shuttle launch, his company, it was a big deal, I remember, in school, and he got all these cool paper plane, or not paper models, or they were kind of like a heavy cardboard, and we'd build them and you'd have to glue them together, these space shuttles, and brought them to my kindergarten class, and I was like the hero getting to watch the space shuttle launch.
Well, when I was a kid, I could either be Russian or American. My grandfather, Hans F. Gruna, Google him, he came over with Dr. Von Braun as part of Operation Paperclip.
No shit.
He was the director of launch vehicle operations for NASA. After he threw hundreds of V2s on Europe, he came over to the United States with my mom, who was 4. They went to White Sands, Texas, where they were Americanized, I guess you'd say. But he was the kindest, nicest, warmest man. And I'll never forget, he had a scar on his face. And I always asked him, Opa, why do you have a scar? And in college, for fraternity stuff, they would sword fight. Till they drew blood. And it was a mark, to get them on the face was what you tried to do. And they used the little fencing swords, that are kind of...
Yeah.
But different deal, man.
Whippy.
And he would never talk. I hate, because he passed away in 76. I was too young to ask him some of the questions I'd really like to ask him. Because he always told me, that they never identified with the government. They were doing what they had to do to stay alive. You know, as a German citizen, as a German scientist, you didn't get the choice of saying, no, I don't think I want to build a V2.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got pride in your country, right? If you're at war, you're going to try to do what you got to do. Heidelberg Scar, Jim Miller, you're right. No, the caps, do the cap, Ian. Go in there and do it again. I don't know, so I should have just made it more simple, but just do hashtag capital S, little COTCH. And this will go out tomorrow too, because after the live, when I get back from Taco Bell, while I'm waiting for said faction, if I've got emails in my inbox, I will grab my little $99 printer and my thermal labels, which I think is the coolest thing in the world, by the way, guys. I don't need ink to print. And Pitt, you could be very right, buddy.
And then you just cut it out and tape it to I mean, I've got a stack of USPS boxes back here, and then you just drop it off at USPS.
Well, what I do is I usually put them in knife boxes because I've got so many that come in. So I do have USPS boxes if I run out, but usually I'll put them in a DLT box or a White Mountain Knives box. I'll tape it up, put the label on, and I'll put them in a bag and I'll take them to the UPS store because it's in my neighborhood. Ian G, thank you, brother. Pizza on him. And you know I'll eat it. But so yeah, it's just my brain went crazy when I saw the Mexican pizza because I thought thinking about its crunchy goodness.
That made me hungry, man.
God, dude, they're so good. They're so bad for you. They've got to be. And I do it special. I'm like, no beans, extra meat, because I'm not into beans for some reason. But saying something about knives. I don't remember what. But have I got anything else new? No, I've got a I'll tell you what I've got coming in Monday or tomorrow, should have been here today, is are y'all familiar with the Vostede Nightshade? Let me grab it.
I thought you said it was coming in. Oh God, I have to go pretty soon. I'm tired.
I am too, guys.
But I gotta stay up for Satisfaction.
It ended with the brutal it was just altogether shit. But y'all have seen this knife, right? I forget what kind of blade they call that. But this is the Vostede Nightshade. It is the sliciest, one of the sliciest knives in my collection. It's got that leaf blade and it's angled down. It looks very similar to the Vox Chillin', but Vostede just released the Mini. And I handled the Mini over at Blade Show. Let me make myself big. Y'all keep putting in Scotch, and then I'm going to draw here in just a sec. Dopey, thank you, brother. Cinnamon twist for me.
Darth BMX.
So
right on EDC.
This is the one with the thumb hole. The first Nightshade had a flipper tab, but the Mini is about half this size. It has recessed axis lock liner, so it's got carbon fiber on the outside, and it's got a bar style lock, so it's just got that little bit of liner right up here. So the result is it's mega thin, it's smaller, about yay big, has the same blade shape, but has thumb studs instead of the thumb hole. And I'm curious to see how it's going to work out. And it'll be one that is eventually given away, like this one will be. And guys, this knife is going to be in my top budget knives, even though this is more in the 60 range. And by the way, if you guys are interested in a Vostede Nightshade and you guys want to use the code JuhVon10, you can go to White Mountain Knives. Whoops. And
Do
you
you get a
can
kickback
go.
then, or how's that work?
No, I get no kickback. It just they get a discount. So when
Oh,
I
you guys
reached
just
out to Justin, because see, I buy all my knives from them, and I pay full price for all my knives, less my 10% that I was doing for Lefty 10. But they just got some more nightshades in stock. So when I look at this, it's not really a budget knife. It's 72 less 10%. So what's that? $64. But they've got them with thumb studs like that for 69, or they've got them in 14C and a thumb hole. No, Nitro V. They're both Nitro V. My bad. For 72, and the mini is sold out, but it's this one right here. And guys, when I saw this at Blade Show, I instantly thought it was not only cute, but it is so thin. Carbon fiber, and the axis lock is very smooth, or the bar lock. 14C, 28N, little shorter blade. But that one's not in stock, but they do have the nightshades back in stock. So if any of y'all are hunting a nightshade, all configurations, all the minis are sold out, but the full size are in. And one thing I've noticed about White Mountain knives, and I actually mentioned it in my email to Justin, is let's say if you go to DLT, you can look at Ed Harrison, channel member, appreciation tier. Thank you, brother. But if you go to White Mountain Knives, and let's say you're looking at their new arrivals, and they've been sold out of Austides, or they've been sold out of the Tucson slip joint that I showed y'all earlier, or the friction folder I've got, or the double D10 I've got in my pocket, and you go to new knives, you're not going to see the Vostides that were restocked. And they don't have a section like DLT where you can look at new and restock. So unfortunately, or fortunately, because for me, I kind of look at it as looking for treasure, I'll go to White Mountain Knives and I'll put in Tucson and I'll put in stock, or I'll go there and I'll put in slip joint in stock, or I'll go there and I'll put in Best Tech in stock because I was looking for the Best Tech Sin. My buddy bought it at Blade Show. The Best Tech Sin's the one that's got that blade that's got the two swoops in it. It's a Warncliffe flipper. Great knife made by Best Tech. It was going to be a Beyond EDC. It was their design, and they sold it to Best Tech instead of making it. But I found that on White Mountain Knives. Or yeah, you can get an email alert. So you can put your email alert in. But the point is, they don't, if you're just always checking the new stuff, you'll miss out on the restocks. So that's why I always say, if you're looking for something in particular, just go there and look for it. Because they don't show up very well on Google. I've also noticed that their SEO, their search engine optimization, is not optimized, because if I search, let's say I search Brad Zinker front flipper, I'm going to pull up Blade HQ. I'm going to pull up Brad Zinker's website. I'm going to pull up Knife Center. I'm going to pull up DLT, assuming they all have this fictional knife that I just created. But basically, they're putting out more signals from their content, where if you look at a White Mountain Knives listing, its content is very sparse. So if I go to White Mountain Knives, I'm just giving y'all an SEO lesson while you put the comment in, then we're going to draw. But if you go to White Mountain Knives and you look at one of these knives, we're going to look at the Vostede just to use that as a control. We're going to go Nightshade. And then I'm going to go click on one of these. It's in stock. Now you'll notice on this listing, there's very little text, right? You've just got the specs and the name. That's all you got. So what that means is Google is not getting many signals to let the viewer, the person searching, know that's what you're looking for. But if I do just a Google search, I pull up Vostede, Atlantic Knife. These people are crooks. That might be slanderous, but you'll notice that they've got more content. They've got it set up as a content designed by you. And then Vostede, who comes up first, comes up because they're branded. Their website matches the name, and they've got the most content, words, which is all Google can read. Google can't see pictures. So it rates them higher. And if we look in here, we just saw that White Mountain Knives had them in stock, but you won't find what, here they are all the way down under the fold. So that's your SEO lesson for the day. Has everybody put Scotch in the comments? Because I'm getting ready to litter rip tater chip. We are going to find our winner for the Miguron Murdered Out. Do we say it was the Pathos, Steve? I think it's the Pathos. Let's do it so I can eat. Hold on.
Yes. Oh, I see who wins. Hold on. How do you comment?
Oh, you just put it in the if you're on StreamYard,
I can't comment from here.
go at the top, go from private to comments. Over on the right side, you should see all the comments. You can go starred to live, and if you go live, you can just put in hashtag Scotch in the live comments.
Who wants me to play for them? It's not letting me type. Oh, it's okay.
Throw it in there, dude. You can decide who to give it to later.
Who wants to? I'll play for someone. Throw it up.
Play
there.
for Dopey.
I'll do it on.
Since he was my roommate.
I'll throw it up on. Hold on 1 second.
Sharp Guy, you misspelled it, my brother. From another mother. I love your avatar, by the way. I hadn't seen my little buddy who's taller than me, E&G, in here tonight. Not E&G. I have seen E&G, but Ian Coates. He must still be over at Bees' channel. E&G, I have seen E&G, but Ian Coates. He must still be over at Bees' channel. All right, I'm hearing it away.
There we go. There, I did it. It's not showing up on here. There we go. If I win, someone's gonna get lucky.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna start counting down. We've got 53 entries. We've got 68 people in here. So I'm gonna give y'all 10, 9. Sobex just got in. All right.
Twang thing.
Scotty, what's up? Ed, did you get in there? Have you put Scotch in there?
Fiddick,
this is for the Miguron.
Balvenie, McAllen, kind of my go-tos. Then I'll try and experiment with something new.
I'll never ask for likes
it's
either.
All fun.
If you guys ever hear me ask for likes, I do have it in my crawl, which that was painful. If you watch my crawl, right here it says, if you're so inclined, feel free to hit the like, but I'll never solicit them. See, here's where my crawl starts.
Zima was the shit back in the day. If you drink enough of it in high school, my teeth would hurt the next morning.
If so inclined. See, I'm not saying hit it. I'm saying if you feel like it, because I roll like that. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to go for it. We're getting ready to give it away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. I hope it's somebody I know. Demonoc 13. It is someone I know. Awesome, brother. Congratulations. Demonoc, if I'm not mistaken, I've got your address, but I'm going to put my name or my email address in the chat and ask you, because I'll forget tomorrow, to email it to me again. And if you email it to me tonight, I will print the labels while I'm eating pizza. And that is the Miguron Polonus.
Well, congrats to all the winners tonight.
Yeah, guys. I'm stoked that everybody won. And just so you know, I think I'm going to use this format through the weeks. Like tomorrow, I'll put up 2 videos. I'll put up a giveaway video and I'll put up a members giveaway video. And those will be our 2 kind of like known giveaways, right? And then we'll do something else kind of on the spur of the moment to give something away till I can get enough room to put all my fucking slip joints up. Sound like a plan? Steve, you got anything to share with the people before we get off? We're only at 2:45. I guess I could stay to 3, but I'm starving.
No, yeah, I'm fading.
Are you working tomorrow, buddy, or are you off?
No, we are gonna take the weekend off. So
good.
Yep, we are. When we work close to home, I try and not work on the weekend so the guys can be with their families.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch a little of this back because I picked up some monitors, some little front-facing monitors. Knife Nut, I have over 20, but under 30.
So like 29 and a half?
No, I think I've probably got 20, 21, 22. It got weird because I had the 2 Jack Wolfs, which put me under 20, and then I ordered those 3 from the 3 Tucsons that, again, I found just by browsing White Mountain Knives. And I'm going to tell y'all, before we get off, I bought the last one of these. I think I showed it at the top of the show. This is the double detent Tucson, little Warncliffe. So it's a slippy, but it doesn't have a spring, and you can flick it, front flipper, and usually it shuts. I don't know why. For sometimes it doesn't shut, but usually it just goes click, 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 click. But for some reason it hits my finger. But the reason I point this one out is that one sold out, but I'm very tempted to buy this one. Let me pull it up here, because if I'm not mistaken, it's the same designer. It is just a different style. Let me show you guys this and tell me if you see the same similarities that I see. Now, again, it's got a much different blade shape, but I really like the double detent. I like the lightness of the knife because it doesn't really have liners. And I think this one would be a good companion to the one that I was just showing you, the Warncliffe. All right, here it is. So this one's also a double detent that just came back in stock. It's the TS241. And what made me remind me of it are the 3 screws, body screws, that one shares with this one. But that's a ball lock, double detent. That's in carbon and S90V, where the one I've got's M390, but it's a 2.6 inch blade. Just a little double detent, front flipper, or slow roller. You can just open it like a regular slip joint, but very thin S90V blade for $89 before my 10% discount.
Is that would you consider as a clip point or like a?
That's a clip point.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks like it's the same designer and the same construction method. Because this one I can open it like a slip joint, close it like a slip joint, but it's got that double detent, which allows you to do that. See, for some reason I can get it to where it opens, closes, opens, closes. That's the way I like to do it. But for some reason, I'll run into this area where I hit my finger and I don't do that. It doesn't close all the way.
So it's hit your finger. It's not like it got dirt or.
It is. It's hit back. Because what it is if I push up here, it closes all the way. If I push here, this back part of the front flipper drags on my finger. See, it drags on my finger. But I've really enjoyed this double detent, and it's slicey. Let me, I don't want to cut up my winners' names. Let me just get this little small piece of paper. But I've noticed the slip joint blades are so thin. And I think I've told y'all, one of my sicknesses is I will sit on the couch. I will watch live streams like I was in Mattis Factions. He was probably like, "Where's John?" When I was just lurking Wednesday night. I lurked all night. But I had a box, an Amazon box in front of me. And I had my Max Ace Beetle and a field notebook. And I was just sitting there whittling paper into my box. And I'll do that for a whole live stream. I have no problem doing it. But yeah, so I picked up 3 little Tucsons, and I'd call this a slip joint, even though it's not a traditional slip joint. But I'm really loving them. I mean, I thought the fixed blades would be a fetish that I would get in and get out of. But most days, every weekend, I carry 3 knives. I carry a slip joint in my left pocket and my primary carry in my right pocket. During the week, when I'm at work in khakis, seeing customers, I've got a regular knife in my pocket. And I've got, I definitely want a Neuron twang thing. I love that little knife. I played with it 2 years ago. But I'll keep my slip joint in a slip and my regular knife. And on the weekends, I usually have a fixed blade either in my left pocket instead of my slip joint, or my chickadee or something on my belt, one of my smaller knives. But guys, I do appreciate it. I love spending time with y'all. I think tomorrow night is Off the Edge with Lefty. I've got to talk to him. I'm not sure. I think Stevie was last week. Blaze Show got us all off. But I love all you guys. Steve, I'm glad you were able to hang out with me, buddy.
It's always a pleasure. I love Friday nights.
Dude, we look forward to it. I'll make sure you got a link every time. And guys, if you would, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And as my pillow says on my spring store, that you can also own and hug, choose debate, not hate. I love you all, guys. Peace.
I would get a body pillow.